look at this. It's coming together, right? Look at this. This is great. So this is our little like bracket thing, right? It took me a while to find them, but we made plates, and the plates go underneath this. I welded on the nuts. Granted, we're going to get better or prettier bolts. The AC thing, I've gotten the routing a little bit better because now I have the bumper on, so I know where that goes. We have the horns hooked up. I'm actually in the process of putting on all the plastics for it. Oh yeah, if you didn't know the year of the truck, that is the year of the truck. I don't know if we'll have the gauges done in this video. We'll find out, depending on how everything ships and all that other stuff. But I really want to take this thing for a drive on the road. So that's the goal. And we'll see how much I get on there, which really the only thing that I think I won't be able to have completely done other than the gauges in the cluster is the AC lines. So if I can get everything else taken care of, everything else is happy, happy days. Then we can go drive this thing down the road and see how she does driving, because it's been a while since she's driven. We got gauges for it because we're not 100% giving up on the touchscreen one, but it's not at the point to where it is as nice to use as Judy would need it. So that's going on the back burner, and then we got these gauges to get her by. I already have a new cluster made for it, and we're just going to be putting the gauges in it and running the wires to them, and everything should work from there. It is a 7 color series, but I think we're gonna put red for her color, just because it's an 80s truck, truck's red, interior's red, why not the gauges? This is the AC flange that is going to go on the compressor, and I'm also going to measure the lines, and then we're gonna get the lines made. So hopefully at the end of this video, we have fully functioning gauges and a fully functioning AC system, which will be very nice. So let's get, I haven't actually looked at these yet. They just got here. Apparently it's meant to be displayed in whatever aspect. All right, look at that. I think these will be very good for her, decently easy to read. And then we're not going to be using those. These should be the wires and everything, or sensors that we need for these gauges too, because we got RPM, speed, oil pressure, voltage, water temperature, and fuel level. So everything she should need for now. Ooh, that is a super snug fit. All right, I'll have to get the file out over here, and we'll make that there. That way I don't scratch the crap out of these things. But I measured decently well, so we're gonna start putting these together. How'd I do with this? All right, so we got them set in there, and don't worry about where the arm is. It's not on 0, so we did our best to line it up straight up and down. But looking at these wires, this seems very nice. And actually, are these? This is just power, ground, and constant for memory, I'm guessing, and then headlights. And they already have them all connected as one. How cool is that? Which they gave us a water temp sensor. And then we have oil pressure sensor, which is this line. This one is tachometer. This one is speedo. And then these are the plugins for all of the back. And of course, the voltmeter just needs these wires. We're at this point, two things. One, I'm gonna plug it in, see if everything works. Two, I'm gonna see if this fits where I want the gauges to sit. Because I don't know, so we're gonna have to probably do some trimming, but I think it should fit in there well. And then got powers and grounds, got the extra things for all the little lights that we got here. And then these are our two extra sensors which come with these gauges. It's the oil pressure sensor and the water temp sensor. So I just have them kind of routed so I can send it through the firewall. And we're gonna plug these in. But yeah, we're just gonna see how everything, or if everything works. And then I'm gonna care if it fits. Constant power. Does it? All right, we need some trimming for these gauges. Okay. All right, fire in the hole. Ooh, things moved. Ooh. Well, since oil pressure and water temp are not plugged in, I'm guessing that's why they're reading full. Check engine light works. Blinker works. Other blinker works. Voltage is working. All right, let's see what happens when we start it. RPM looks decent. I do have it set to 8-cylinder because they have that as an option. So, says that it's idling at like 450. I'll have to check. I do know this actually did seem to idle low on the OBD plugin when we had it there too. I just want to see exactly what it's saying. We're charging at 14.5 volts. All right, let me plug in the other ones, but we do have the color options. And I think with Judy's red truck, red should be the one. What do you think? We went to go get the AC line stuff, and he gave me a couple things. I got two 90s. One is number 8, the other one's a number 10. The number 10 goes to the expansion valve. And I put them on, and this is, pressed all the way in, so it's all the way in. And it's pressed all the way against the battery, and the battery's actually leaning back a little bit right now. So I called him and said, hey, I got to figure something else out. And what I found out was we went to Vintage Air and got 2 of their fittings, and they just came in, so I'm gonna put them in right now. There we go. All right. So now this one's going to go in there, and it's going to allow us extra room. So it's still going to be close to the battery. Because the other thing too is this was the one for the lower one, and I'm going to see if it works. If not, the one that fell is actually for this one, so it'll just point downwards. But this is how I want this one to go. So it's going to be right next to the battery. Yeah, I like that. Nobody asked you. So this line, I'm gonna get it like kind of marked the way I want, and then essentially I'm gonna put a line on here so that when I take it apart, go over to him and he crimps it, it stays in the exact same orientation that it is now. So I'm gonna do the lower one, and we're gonna see, as you route through there. We're gonna see which one works, or which way works best. So that should fit better. Oh, that looks great. All right. So right now, we have AC lines. I just got to go to the place. We're gonna have everything's gonna be brand new. This is just so that we know orientation, we know lengths, and we know where the fittings are going to be. But yeah, this looks great. So I'm gonna take these off. I'm gonna run over, get the AC lines made. He pretty much said that they could just be made while I wait. And then I'm gonna get a new dryer, and we might as well just do a new expansion valve for this thing. That way, everything's perfect. I'll make sure that the compressor has the right amount of oil in it and everything. We're gonna blow out all the lines. With newer stuff, you can't blow out the condenser and evaporator. This one is actually old enough to where you can. So I get to blow it out. Everything's good. We don't have to take the dash out or anything. We just put everything together and charge it up. And we're gonna see AC works, and then our gauges are working right now. I got to work on a couple things because the colors won't stay. I don't really know why yet, but other than that, not much left on this thing, which is awesome. So I have new screws for this. I have new screws for the, what's it called? The grill. We're going to clean the evaporator and the condenser, which is this magical power clean flush. We're also going to clean the old lines because we just want to make sure there's nothing in them, because there probably is, especially with how the expansion valve looked. But I have a hose coming off of the lower one. That way it just dumps straight down and doesn't spray over everything up here. There it goes. I don't know how well you can see that with the camera, but there's quite a few chunks in there. Granted, it's also supposed to be clear, so it being a slight amber color, you know, darker color, there was definitely some stuff in there, and you can see decent size pieces, which those will destroy a AC compressor. Another reason why we use this stuff is because, yeah, we don't want to replace a compressor just because right after it was put in. Well, I looked up one because this is a universal one. It's not actually for this truck. The one that I got had a small hole and a big hole on both sides. This one does not. It has two holes the same size and then a small hole and a big hole. And the only reason I didn't get the other one, which I didn't know this at first, but the other one has a little valve off the side, which it's a Schrader valve. It might be for an extra sensor or something, but we can just leave it open and be fine. So I have that one coming. It'll be here in the morning, but I can't put it together because I only have this one. I'm going to actually just put the lines on for this side of it, and then tomorrow morning, at least from I know with how the truck works and the delivery and everything like that, it should be here when we open. So I'm going to actually be picking up parts for a Porsche in the morning, but I might actually just come in, put that on, charge the AC, and see if it works before I get parts for the Porsche. The time has come. So we're not going to recover because recovery means that there would be refrigerant in there, and we know there isn't. We're going to put it in a vacuum, and essentially that's going to, one, get all the moisture out of there, which is what the vacuum does, and two, if it doesn't hold a vacuum, I can look and try to find the problem before we put refrigerant in, or I might be lazy and put refrigerant in and see if anything comes out anywhere. That tells me where the problem is. So yeah, we're going to put in the vacuum, 5 minutes of vacuuming, and then we're going to give it a 5-minute test to see how the vacuum holds. If it's not good, it'll just do, and no more vacuum. If it's good, it'll stay within a certain realm, and even the machine tells us it passed the test. All right, leak test passed. So we're going to fill it. I actually forgot to check how much goes in this system, but I'm gonna put the exact amount that this truck is supposed to take. Even though the system is a little off, I think that'll be a close guess on what we're actually supposed to be at. If it's too much, it won't be as cold. If it's too little, it won't be as cold. We'll figure it out, but that's kind of our best starting point, just because of the capacity of the condenser, the evaporator, and everything else for it. Granted, the lines might not be as long, but we're gonna be really close. So I think putting in what's meant to be in the truck with the original engine is our best bet. So I got it filled. I looked up the capacity. Like I said, we're gonna do the OEM stuff, and the capacity is actually with R12. So it said 2 pounds with R12. 2 pounds with R12. When you go to R134A, you do 75% of that. So we put in roughly 1.5 pounds of R134A. Now it's telling us to turn the vehicle on. But I always like to do this because it tells you to turn the AC on and then do this, but I just close it because there's no point. So I'm gonna go turn on the truck. That compressor should turn on when I click the AC button, and then it'll finish the charge after that. We have AC. Vehicle is on. Compressor, that pressure was down to like 20 PSI. You'll see it drop as it pushes in everything that's in the lines. Now the other thing too that's going to be helpful to us, because like I said, I'm not sure exactly how much is supposed to be in here. If this pressure is too low, it means I have to put more refrigerant in. Not the end of the world. But we're gonna have to watch the pressures and make sure that they're where they need to be for Judy to have the nicest AC that she can. Whew, that is nice and frosty. I'm gonna go find the temp gun because I wanna see what this thing does. We're also gonna let the coolant burp, so it'll be on for a little bit, but we got nice cold air coming out now. We're at 64 outside the truck. Woo, 32, 31, 30. All right, that's some cold, 29. All right, that's some cold AC. I think she's gonna be happy. We're putting a new windshield in Judy's truck because she deserves it. And we told her to go to Beck's Auto Glass, he's a really good friend of ours. He does all of our glass here. If Safelike shows up, I tell them to kick rocks. Beck is definitely one of the best in the business, and you can be modest all you want, I won't. But yeah, we trust him with everything. He really cares about what he does, and he'll be the first one to tell you if something's not going to work right. Like Fred wanted to take the rear glass out of a truck because he was painting it, and Beck was like, "I've never had one come out that doesn't break of these trucks," and Fred was like, "All right, we'll see what happens," and it broke, and that's just because he knows what he's doing. So, but yeah, he's gonna take care of it, and hopefully we don't hit a rock before Judy gets her truck back.
Wait till we get the bobblehead on. Fred, when should I bring the bobblehead? You have to cut it.
What?
You have to cut it.
I have to cut the bobblehead?
No. You gotta cut it.
Oh.
It's sitting right there.
Whenever.
So, should I bring it Saturday?
Sure.
When I come?
Don't worry, you're gonna get to see the bobblehead, just not right now. AC works great, the cluster looks good. I'm gonna take it apart and I'm gonna paint it black because I think black will look better in there. We gotta trim the little surround that bolts on and then I can put everything in and be done with it. The new windshield is in. We're gonna finish up putting the wiper blades on and the little cowl piece. The tuner's gonna come by and I found out that one of the fans is working, and most likely it's because when we first did the flash to get the truck to start, he just selected that it had one fan, which these ECUs will go with no fan, one fan, or two fans, because some of the trucks these came in, or most of them actually had fan clutches. So I'm just spacing, it's okay. It's near the end of the day. So when they had a fan clutch, they obviously don't have an electric one, so the ECU doesn't turn anything on. And we're just gonna make sure that we have it selected to know that there's two fans. Because right now the fan works perfect, but we still need two fans because it is a big V8 and a tiny engine bay. The next video will probably be after he's tuned it, and then that's pretty much just gonna be testing it. I mean, Fred's gonna paint the wheels next week, and then it's just gonna be kind of a trial and error thing and make sure the truck is good before she takes it home. So next video should be really close. If not, it's done. It's kind of exciting. It's been a long time.